This is part of the campsite. That little orange tent on the side is Jurassic James land, and the vehicle in front of it is Prime Force One. So I am here right now on a Doling Bowl site in the Eastern Quarry, and I'm going to take you into an actual paleo dig site, like and not just like a fun one. Like, this is not here for fun. This is actually them digging it for research purposes for this team and others. So I'm going to head this way now. You can see it that way. This is why I tell kids to eat healthy and exercise. Lots of hiking out here. And so this is me, Jurassic James, taking you to a paleontologist lair. Okay, so this is an actual dig site. First of all, I want to point out these stars. Oh, you're eating. Sorry. I did do that at lunchtime, so it's my fault. And so basically we're seeing, these are actual people, they're not animatronics, except for the one on the right. I'm not sure about her, but the rest of them are actually real people. And so they're digging here. You can see our good buddy here, Fisher, is mapping out a fossil.
So we've got 3 bones all kind of in proximity right now. And so I'm using this grid, which is marked by these nails in the ground, which have our coordinates on them, to figure out where on the map they go. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And so this is going to help us reconstruct the quarry, find if things are associated later, and it's just good for posterity to have this historical information. But yeah, this is already loose, so I'm going to get it cataloged on this sheet, and wrap it up with some tape and toilet paper, and give it a number, and that'll get put away. And the other 2 I'll be trenching around and eventually capping with either a gypsona or a plaster jacket. Probably a gypsona, because these are pretty small, but give them a more protective layer with some surrounding matrix so that they don't break, because topping things out like this at the site is usually not as common as giving them a full jacket.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So to be clear, that these aren't made up fossils, they are real, and they're not like you didn't hide it here like a year ago. And
no, it would be literally impossible, because this is rock that's been solid for over 100 million years. 142 is our estimate for the age. And so we had to uncover this whole bench here with a jackhammer and rotary hammers and whatnot to be able to even get to these layers.
Got it. I know that, but I just wanted someone to say it.
Of
Other than me, they don't trust me, so if you say it, it's real.
Well, you can point out to them that black there is the bottom of the wash. We are digging under a drainage, so we've created a diversion around us. So when there's a flash flood, we don't get flooded with water in our Seneca Lake. So it goes around us. Well, that's the bottom of the wash. These bones are back down about 4 feet, 5 feet below that.
And for the viewers, what is a wash? Just how would you define that?
I'm not sure we call them cricks in Texas.
Cricks.
You know, New Mexico call them arroyos.
Got it.
But you know, my wife would call it a crick, but it's where water flows through the range. We're in a pretty dry environment here. So, you know, these things only flow when there's these big thunderstorms. If you look up the gully there, you can see it.
I can see it.
Roads in.
Yeah.
The water flows down there and then along this little trench we made. Hopefully it doesn't go over the bank into here.
Got it.
You know, rain can mess up our day. It can fill this place with water theoretically. I've seen, you know, quarry holes 10 feet deep full of water with bones in them. And you got to bring a pump and pump it out.
Thanks. I'm going to come back when you're back. And so here we have Danny, who is my mentor when it comes to anything digital and online.
I don't know about that, but
you don't declare it. I declare you mentor. So
I appreciate your kind words, James. Yeah.
You were voted in like George Washington. You didn't even want to be there. It's your job now. Anyway, do you want to show us or talk about it?
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of bone right here. This could be a piece of ossified tendon. It could be one of the little wings that comes off the side of a vertebra called a transverse process. Not sure yet, but it's going in a weird angle. See how it's plunging in like that? It's making it kind of tricky to dig up. So right now I'm trying to peel away this rock here so we can basically make a little trench around it, and then I can glue the whole thing and hopefully we can get it out in one piece. But it's not being very cooperative right now. dinosaurs are not often the most polite, even after, they've been dead for 142 million years. So we do what we can,
Okay, very good. Thank you. Dinosaurs are rude. I didn't see Jurassic Park, so I didn't know that. Cool. Thank you very much. We'll see you more later, too.
All right.
Now, I've been told that these are, and this is breaking news, these are girls in science, and I thought that didn't happen. I thought that was against the law, but apparently here it is. We should probably tell the government. So, it was just like, I told them, my fans know I'm weird, so it's like, they have to, yeah. And so this is Dr. Karen Poole. Okay.
Yeah, hi, I'm Karen, and so I'm just here pedestaling this bit of bone here. We're not quite sure what it is at this point, but I'll kind of trace the outline of it here. There's a little bit coming out here. Alright, so we got this kind of almost Y shape going.
Okay.
And so right now I'm just sort of digging a trench all the way around it, so it'll be up on a pedestal, and that way we can get some, like a plaster cast over it, essentially, and then remove it.
Okay. And so, if a child doesn't want to go outside, should they be a paleontologist?
I mean, look, there's ways you can do paleontology that are largely lab-based, yeah.
I mean, yes, but what if a kid wants to do a dig but doesn't want to go outside very often? Should their parents let them know?
I mean, yes, it's most digs occur outside. There are a very few situations where, like, an actual building has been built over a big quarry.
Yeah.
Generally this is an outdoor activity. Yeah.
I like how when I ask you stupid questions, you're always just like, yeah, we can make that work into a sentence. I like that a lot. I appreciate that greatly. Anything else you want to point out or say, just real quick? We're going to do an interview separate later on, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on in the quarry here. So, that's some dinosaur bone right there.
Wow.
I don't know what bone yet.
Do you know what dinosaur? Of course.
I mean,
Or group.
Most likely this is from the iguanodontian that we're digging up
Yes.
right now. I mean, again, without even knowing which bone it is, it's hard to identify which animal it's from.
No.
But most of what we're finding in this level is from this iguanodontian that we're working on. It doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah, the public thinks that we find one bone, like a part of a bone. You're like, oh, this is exactly this. Like, no, there's like lots of species and unknown species, and so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And all the way from, I'm not doing an accent, all the way from Britain, we have here, that would be offensive and annoying, for not only you, but the audience. This is Laura, she is from Britain, and so you're digging, sort of, or you're from Germany? I can't remember.
Don't worry.
Oh, don't worry about it. Okay, never mind. Freaking stretch.
I flew from England.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, and so her specialty basically is squamates, and so you're digging here, and I think you found a tooth yesterday, and you found other cool stuff, or?
Yeah, for sure. Just finished putting a cap on some vertebrae here, which are probably from a theropod, we were saying, maybe. So we put a cap on it, and once it's dry, pedestaling around here, so we will flip it. I've also found some very thin, like really millimeter thin skull fragments I think are from a theropod. Like I found tooth and bone here yesterday, found some here, and it looks like there might be a little bit more in here. So going very, very, very slowly, working down the area that we're creating a principle on so that we can hopefully get out any fragments that are in there.
So patience is an important part of this.
Very, yes.
So when dressing,
I mean, we are currently going through in layers about this thing. So, and there's American feet is what American feet of rock to go through. So
yes, we have our own system here. We just made it up, and
patience and just perseverance, like most of life.
Cool, very cool. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is Don, and Don is the Lieutenant Commander of Paleontology of Utah, I believe. So you're, I'm not sure.
Assistant State Paleontologist.
It's the same thing. It's Lieutenant Commander of...
Jim's right-hand man.
Yes, the right-hand man.
That is kind of... What did you say, Lieutenant Commander?
Lieutenant Commander. That's to be very
that makes
militant.
sense. He's commander.
Yeah, It's the... Yeah.
He gives the orders, I get it done.
Exactly.
He does get the job done.
Very Hamiltonian. Anything you want to say or point out here? Or...
Yeah, I'm kind of working into the... We've got a few bones cleaned up a little bit more if I'd known you were coming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
No, I thought I warned you like twice. Okay.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you can see. And this I've been leaving and not excavating it just because I think it's probably just a little rib fragment. So it kind of gives me an indication of where where the bone level is.
Okay.
And then I was working along here, and then I got something here that I'm going to try to work on. So I'm just peeling back some of these layers so I can work into this. But we've taken out a bunch of big bones from this area in previous years. So
Yes, like right here.
we kind of know it's just a matter of time before we run into more decent stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we'll do a private interview later on.
Okay, sounds great.
And while you're, and this is where I've been digging. Basically, it was kind of like this, and it became this over, I think, at this point, 4 days. And so there were a few small bone pieces. They were not spectacular, but they were taken to a fossil farm upstate and got out of misery. There's a small piece right here. There's a small piece right there being pointed to by the L right here. There's some more bits in there. The other things were taken away. So, and over here, and so I like to think of this as like the Starship Enterprise of paleontology. Dr. Kirkland is sitting here at the commanding ship, and everyone, all the officers are out, and the actual thing. So tarps are here too, because it turns out the sun's the real thing. And I know kids who were born, you know, after 2000, the sun's this big ball of plasma in the air, it's in space, this whole thing. But go outside, you'll see it sometimes. And Dr. Jim Kirkland, who invited me here, who graciously invited me here and put up with 4 days of shenanigans and tomfoolery. Is there anything you wanted to add to this? 'Cause this is like a short introduction.
As much tomfoolery as possible.
Don't tell me that. Yeah, of course, of course. And so this is the actual paleo dig site. And just looking at Danny, like people say, "Oh, James, you're in the hat and the vest." Someone else does that. It's not just me. I think people think I'm just only doing. I'm like, no, people do wear these things. I mean, obviously, people wear shorts because they're smart and it's hot, and I don't because it's more important to me to have pants on than have shorts. So anyway, but that's just my personal proclivity. But all the things you see here are real things.
I am a big fan of this.
Yes.
When I'm out in the field, measuring section, describing the rock layers, I like to have a vest so I have things I can keep in all my pockets.
Yes.
I can pull out as needed. In fact, I wish there were more pockets on this chair for putting things. But, you know, we're sitting here really just above the Jurassic. If we were to dig a hole 10 feet deep here, right where my feet are, you'll get through the base of the Cretaceous into the Jurassic, the Morrison Formation, the great Jurassic Park, the Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, and Apatosaurus, a lot of our famous dinosaurs. But between that layer and right where we're sitting, there was a mass extinction. And it killed off the classic Jurassic Park dinosaur fauna that we get across Utah and Wyoming. And we're looking at the animals that were able to survive. This is the recovery fauna from a major mass extinction in North America. Maybe not global, but certainly in North America. And this is the oldest Cretaceous dinosaur site in all of North America, where we have, you know, bunches of different kinds of dinosaurs. Every single dinosaur we've found in here has been a new species. So, you know, whenever we find anything, we're pretty excited about it, because we've got a new armored dinosaur that we're in the process of describing. So what am I looking at here?
Good question.
So this is what he does. Like he lectures us, which is really great. And we find something like, "What's this?" If you don't know, and he'll tell us and look at it and get an idea.
I mean, it's possible this is coprolite. It's certainly a weirdly cemented blob of stuff. But
Coprolite, fossilized food.
Rock from
from the, well, it's churty.
desert.
Yeah. But it's not a chert bubble. It's, it looks like stuff, could be stuff in it. But yeah, I don't think it's coprolite. But yeah, probably reworked from the rock right below us. You know, one of the things we see in here is we'll get fossil chunks of fern root. And if we go laterally to here, the football field, distance away, we find beds of is agatized peat, silicified peat, where peat's been turned to like petrified wood. And peat is like swamp and muck, all organic. If you were there when it was fresh, it probably stunk. I'm sure there's stuff down around Houston where you get
we know that.
There's organic stuff.
You're preaching to the choir here. They know.
Yeah. And basically,
wrong turn.
Yeah, pure organic stuff, just like petrified wood, can get replaced by agate. So it's real pretty, and we have stuff here that's real pretty. But these are beds of this pure organic peat. And with the fern roots that we see in a preserve sometimes, we find those reworked here. So we know that was happening just a few feet under the surface back at the beginning of the Cretaceous. It wasn't millions of years later. It was, maybe 1,000 years later after those peat beds were buried. So nearly the same. And then there was enough erosion by the active rivers and things in that environment that it was reworking those beds up that were already partly fossilized and dumping them back in here where other things are getting buried, like dinosaurs and things. So they're fossilizing the dinosaur bone with, stuff that's just being fossilized over the last few thousand years before that.
Wow.
It's just being recycled in it. We're getting a real interesting story here. It's fairly complicated. There'll be people digging here 100 years from now. Right now, we have a new armored dinosaur. We got a long-necked dinosaur, sauropod. Mm-hmm. You guys all know what a sauropod is, the great long-necked dinosaurs.
They better know.
They better know, yeah. We got Mirasaurus from this site. Mirasaurus was named after an early Spanish explorer, a cartographer, map maker, by the name of Mira. And Mira's, basically, you could think of him as the first scientist to ever come into this area. And came in with, the Dominguez expeditions back in, the beginning of this 16th century, a long time ago, beginning of the 17th century maybe. Yeah, so we named this dinosaur after Mira.
Okay.
Now we also have a raptor, a dromaeosaur, probably the ancestor of Utah raptor, which occurs a little bit higher than the level we're at. We named Yorgovuchia. And Yorgovuchia, say, well, that sounds like a Slavic word or something, but it's actually Ute Indian for coyote.
Got it.
And this is the traditional Ute land. So this small, fierce little raptor meat eater we named Yorgovuchia.
Yeah.
We have two kinds of plant eaters that are bipedal, iguanodonts, I think. Two. Karen's not so sure. And I'll probably be dead and gone before the final decision is made, because it's going to be a lot of science to be done. But that work's still to be done. We may have a bipedal plant-eating animal that descended from meat-eating dinosaurs. Therizinosaur in the site. There's a young student working on the pelvis and a tooth we found of this thing. They may describe it just from the pelvis. I'm a little more leery about naming it on such little material. Yeah. But if the student wants to put her head on the chopping block, at least it'll be in the literature.
Yeah.
You can say, nope, I don't think it should be named. But everyone seems to agree it is one of these therizinosaurs, a group of animals that seem to be really important in the basal Cretaceous of Utah. We may have like 4 different kinds.
Oh, wow.
But this would be the oldest one that we have record of. And mostly they're known from Asia. Yeah. We also get in, the armored dinosaurs related to things we see in Europe. We got bits, big teeth, of a large meat-eating dinosaur. We think allosaurids, like Allosaurus, our state fossil in Utah, went extinct. And that these are actually Carcharodontosaurs, which are allosauroids, cousins, that probably came in from Europe. In fact, Mirasaurus is related to long-necked dinosaurs only known in Europe. No one has ever found one of them, a Turiasaur, the group they belong to, in North America. So, and what's funny is they're a more primitive group of sauropods than we normally find. So even though it's in the Cretaceous, it is the most primitive sauropod known in North America. Yeah. But it's in the Cretaceous.
Cool.
Yeah. There's always surprises, but I love this site because we don't know what the next chip is going to reveal.
Got it. Thank you for doing that. And just for the record, I so everyone knows, You didn't invite me out here as like a Make-A-Wish kid. You really didn't want me to come out here and meet you guys.
Yeah, well, the outreach. I mean, you guys are why we dig here. The public is interested. You know, I mean, to know the history of our planet, to know about these amazing extinct creatures. And, you know, Jurassic James is telling you about it. We need our mouthpieces. You know, our gang needs a mouthpiece to tell the world what we're up to. But, you know, without, you know, communication to the public of what we do, why should anyone fund this, even the little bit we are funded, if we're not communicating what we're discovering? And the public loves this. So, you know, let's tell people all the exciting things we're finding in this, you know, incredible history. We have a new record of 45 million years of Earth history here that's never been known before. 35 years ago, we didn't know it existed. A giant hole in the history of North America. And we're filling it, but we're looking way up the learning curve. You know, we know the stuff is here now. We've got bunches of different sites. This isn't the only site at different levels. And people will be digging out here for decades. Cool. So any, you know, kids listening, you know, who knows, someday you might come out here and discover a new dinosaur, because there are dozens, maybe hundreds of new dinosaurs to be discovered here in eastern Utah.
I'm sorry, I'm drooling. Sorry. So just,
I mean, we're, you know, it's like, this is like, you know, you always think about, oh, I wish I was here 100 years ago in the Old West when they were finding the first dinosaurs. We're living that dream now. I mean, when I was a kid, I was, oh, I wish I could have been around when they found the first stegosaur, or the first, you know, brontosaurus, first allosaurus. We're finding the first Utah raptor, the first Gastonia, first Moabosaurus. I mean, it's just all these animals, you know, Diabloceratops that Don found. You know,
nice.
It's a lot. You know, we've named, our own group has named something on the almost 25 dinosaurs now.
Oh wow!
You know, in Utah in the last 35 years, it's, you know, it's always a team effort. You know, everyone said, "Oh, this is, you know, Jim did all this." You don't do, you know, look around you. You don't do this work by your lonesome. You collaborate. You work with people with different talents. You bring all the talents together, and you come up with information. And the reason we map the bones and whatnot, you know, future scientists are going to want to look and see, you know, what we did. And the way science works, it's their job, that this new generation coming up, is to prove I'm an idiot. And if they can't prove an idiot, maybe it holds up. But that's how science works. You've got to try to disprove it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not testable, so we need to keep information so people can kind of walk in our own footsteps.
Yeah.
They can't dig it twice. You know, once it's dig, it's gone. But we photograph the things in place, we're mapping them, we're documenting it so people can look at the real fossils in museums, see the context in which they were found, visit the site still, the site won't go anywhere, and decide, you know, did we know what we were talking about, or maybe some other theories or other aspects of the story can come to light that we didn't catch.
Yes.
That's how it works, and that's why it's so much fun to do science.
Thank you very much. And this is only my interpretation. It's almost like you're the Nick Fury of like early Cretaceous paleontology. You're getting, I knew you already did a lot of phone calls, emails, letters, but being out here, I've learned more of what you've done and help people get together. I mean, I've met some amazing people, which we're going to see later on in more detail. And I just think it's really cool that you do that, because people in your position sometimes don't want to. They're kind of busy, and you're like, no, open it to everybody. We should talk to more people. We should connect to each other.
Yeah, it's, I mean, this is, why do people pay for dinosaurs? We're not curing cancer. I wish we were. I'd love to cure cancer. We're not feeding the poor, but we're getting kids excited about science. We're learning about our planet. We learn what happens with climate change. You know, why did these things, you know, one of the things we're working on big now are the soils that are mostly below this level, but we're seeing evidence that at the end of the Jurassic, it was very, very wet, intensely rainy, where it was semi-arid, wetter than this is now, but still semi-arid savanna like East Africa below, like East Africa above. But right when the extinction occurs, for a few million years, it was incredibly wet. Why? You know, was it an asteroid impact in South Africa that we think is maybe a culprit? There's a giant, the biggest shield volcano in the solar system, the Shangxi Rise off of Japan. That dates at the end of the Jurassic. Did it expose the mantle when an asteroid came in and caused all this rainfall. These are things people can argue about 50 years down the line. You're going to say, I agree with this. We got new evidence.
Of course.
It'll be. That's what the fun of it is. But we are getting new evidence. There's no place else we've ever found rocks of this age that has a record that we can actually. There's always been a 20 million year gap.
Wow.
And now we're filling it, and that's really neat. I'm a very lucky person to have been involved with this set of discoveries. And as you know, Los Angeles County Museum's out here, North Carolina's out here. You know, this fishing hole is definitely attracting attention.
Good, very good. Thank you so much, Sheriff. Thank you very much. And so, like I said, for those of you who wonder, like, what's it like to be on a dig site, I hope that gives you some input. The people you see here, I'm going to be interviewing soon, and many of them I'm going to have all of their data, where you can find them, follow them, what they're doing, links, whatever they have to give me, I will give it to you guys, because it's, for me personally, it's an amazing experience to be able to meet such cool people, and not even that they're just great at what they do. The fact that these people are so friendly, they're so smart. After we dig, we go back, we have dinner, and then we just talk. And imagine you are a Transformers nerd or a Marvel nerd, and you just hang out with other Transformer nerds and Marvel nerds. Right, and so the idea is that for me, I'm so excited because they're like, you're a science communicator, you're an outreach person, where we appreciate you coming here and just like being here, and they're all showing me stuff and teaching me cool things that I will then teach to you and make more jokes, of course. And so that's what's going on now. I'm going to do more videos, of course, show you more stuff. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that, and comment, subscribe, etc., etc.